Hello, you're watching GameSpot Daily, where we cover the top news stories in 15-ish minutes now.
Yeah, that's our target.
We're doing it. I'm Callie. I'm joined by Michael Hyam.
Hello, Callie. Thanks for coming back.
I'm glad to be back.
Are you? Yeah, you are.
Yeah, we got a Pokemon story, which I'm very excited to get to, so stay tuned. But of course, we're going to start with Fortnite.
Yeah, our lead story, as you could tell from the headlines, is going to be about Fortnite. And if you've been living under a rock, then you probably still know about Fortnite. And the reason why we're talking about it today is because Season 5 kicked off this morning.
Yep.
We're going to run down everything that's new.
All right, so Season 5 is about worlds colliding. It has Viking ships, ancient statues, and a bunch of other stuff being deposited all over the island. The update is rolling out to all versions, so that's PS4, Xbox One, PC, Switch, and iOS.
Oh, yes. Okay, hold on. Let me gather my thoughts real quick. I got to play a little bit of Season 5's and changes, and I got to see all of their changes. Not all of them, a lot of them. But straight up, what you're watching right here is when you boot up the game for Season 5, this is what plays. So I was like, what the? There's an intro cutscene here. We're getting some real-ass Fortnite lore now. Yeah, there's some significant map changes. There's a new biome. There's a desert area. So where Moisty Mire was, where all the swamp goblins lived, that has been obliterated.
I'm really happy because I hate the word moisty.
Yeah,
It's
Moisty
so
Mire
gross.
was pretty gross, but
Yeah.
I like landing there. But if you do land there, it's going to be a desert. It's a new location called Paradise Palms, and there's also a place called Lazy Links, and it's a desert. And the center. Oh, this is some other changes to how it works. The center of the storm circles 7, 8, and 9 can now shrink and shift in random directions. It doesn't simply continue down a narrow path. So it's a little bit of a gameplay change that you should probably pay attention to. And you can step into a rift and be teleported into the sky and then float back down. Some little changes over there. But I think the biggest thing is that the map changes. So I landed there, and it's actually pretty dope. I like the aesthetic and
Of the desert?
yeah.
Nice.
I like Paradise Palms. It's basically like a
Paradise Palms.
resort area. So it's like pools. There's some buildings there. So I like it. I'm with it.
Awesome. All right, gameplay changes. So there's a new vehicle, the all-terrain cart. The ATK fits an entire squad. It speed boosts after drifting, kind of like a Mario cart. The roof acts as a bounce pad, and passengers can lean back and release together for a higher jump.
Bounce, 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 bounce. Yeah, I actually got a hold of an ATK during my playthrough, and it's cool. There's like an actual vehicle in Fortnite. It works well. It's kind of slippery. I guess that helps with drifting if you're into that sort of thing to get some boosts. But I was like, oh, they added a vehicle. Now I can traverse the map a little bit easier. But yeah, ATK. I imagine that's going to be a game changer. We're going to see a lot of that.
Yep. I like that the roof acts as a bounce pad. I feel like that's a vehicle you're getting the most use out of that vehicle.
Yeah.
There's lots of God, I can't talk today. Weapon balance tweaks for shotguns, rifles, and SMGs, and gyro and motion controls have been added to the Switch version, which is pretty big.
That's a big
That's
deal.
a big one.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of using the Joy-Cons to shoot. It was kind of
I have not been a big fan of using the Joy-Cons to shoot things.
Yeah.
Except for in Splatoon.
All right.
Yeah. There's new challenges. It's now split between free and the battle pass. Progressive challenges are no longer restricted to a single season. So they're now completed by acquiring a fixed amount of XP instead. So it's not dependent on your season level anymore.
Yep. All right. So those are all the things that what we have gathered for today for Fortnite Battle Royale in particular.
But of course, we have the full patch notes on GameSpot. We've said this many times with Fortnite stuff. If you are a big Fortnite fan, you want all the nitty gritty details, we do have that on the site.
Yeah. Or you can just jump. Well, actually, you should go to our site. It's a good website, and we work for it. But yeah, you can jump
Support us, please.
But yeah, you can check those all out on GameSpot. You should also play this game to get a taste of what's changing, because there is a lot changing with Season 5. It's not just there's a whole ton of skins, cosmetics, and all that other stuff, challenges. But yeah, the game is changing with new items and changes to the map, so it's kind of cool.
Yep.
Do we want to go through the Save the World stuff, or should we move on?
We should probably move on because we only have so much time.
Yes. Just so you know, there's a bunch of stuff that's been changed in Save the World mode. So if you still play that, instead of or as an alternate to Battle Royale, new stuff is on the way for Save the World. So Fortnite. It's taking over the world.
Yep. There's also plenty of bug fixes and performance improvements generally across the board. Again, check out our article if you want to know the details.
All right. Yes. We
Time
got
for
through Fortnite.
Pokemon. Woo! Yeah.
All right, Callie, this is
So
all you.
excited. All right. There's a new Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee trailer. It shows off a bunch of customization and the world and stuff. So some of this I knew. Like generally everybody knew. I didn't just know it as a secret. But some of it we didn't. So the new trailer says that players can explore the Kanto region in a whole new way. And it showed ride Pokemon. It showed a Charizard, an Onix, and an Arcanine, I believe. We knew that you could ride Pokemon, but seeing the Onix was pretty cool because it's enormous. I'll bring up the trailer in a second. And yeah, so the ride Pokemon we knew about, but it shows it off a little bit more. I think this is the thing about this trailer is it kind of overlaps with the previous one, but and Lapras. The first trailer was a little bit rough in some ways, so I think this is kind of like the first like real like do you think this is like a better indication of what this is? Yeah, I think it shows more than the first trailer, which had like a Pikachu in the real world and stuff. You'll be able to take care of your Pokemon and to raise their spirits and interact with them and stuff. They can be male or female. You can also customize Pikachu and Eevee with hairstyles and accessories. You can wear matching outfits. I don't think they have to be matching. They have really dumb haircuts. Your partner Pokemon, so you have like your partner, which is Pikachu or Eevee, depending on your version. And then you have like a buddy Pokemon also that follows you around. And that Pokemon can find items, as you see here, which seems really helpful. They also detailed in the press release some version exclusive Pokemon. So for Pikachu, Let's Go Pikachu, you'll get Oddish, Sandshrew, and Growlithe. And for Let's Go Eevee, you'll get Bellsprout, Vulpix, and Meowth. And I love Growlithe, so I'm just going to trade one from Pokemon Go because I'm getting Let's Go Eevee. They also showed off Misty and Brock.
Yep.
It was the first. I mean, it is set in the Kanto region. They're not Pokemon Yellow remakes, but they are, inspired pretty heavily by Pokemon Yellow, and so I wasn't expecting Misty and Brock to not be there.
Right.
But it was cool to see them. And what else?
Brock looks really short in this.
He does look pretty short, right? Yeah. So they also showed off a little bit of co-op, which I think we had seen pretty much the same thing. It's not like a substantial co-op. It's more like playing support.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So like you can like shake the Joy-Con and then join somebody's game, your friend's game in their Switch. And so you don't like have your own. It's not like you and I can like have two different Switches and be like, oh, now we're playing the same campaign together.
Oh, okay.
It's like they just help you battle, basically.
All right.
As far as I can tell. Maybe there's other benefits. All right, so Let's Go is intended for first-time Pokemon players.
Okay.
It's not the same game that was announced at E3 2017. That game's coming in 2019.
Yes. This is not the Pokemon Switch game that everyone has been clamoring for.
Yeah. This is I mean, it's still a Pokemon RPG.
Yeah.
It's just designed for kind of newer players.
Which I think is really cool. It's like, because like obviously Red and Blue was my intro to Pokemon and a lot of people's intro to Pokemon. But I mean, time passes and new kids come into the world. Babies are made. Let's talk about the birds and the birds and the bees.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that's what it is.
Anyway, that's what happens in the real world. So there's a whole new wave of kids who have not played Pokemon Red and Blue, and those are such special games to like people like Callie and I, and then to reinvent the Red and Blue and Yellow games into a new generation is a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
I think so. There's so many cool Pokemon are cute. Like those games are like super fun, and then so for a new generation to experience that for themselves the first time, and for us to revisit those in a new light is exciting stuff.
Yeah,
I think honestly,
I'm very excited about it. I don't think like I put a lot of hours into Pokemon games doing the competitive side of things. I think I put probably like 50 to 70 hours into just breeding and training teams.
Oh yeah.
At like minimum. So I don't think I'll be doing that with Let's Go because I don't think that's something that's necessarily available to you in the game. Like I know that like you can't battle wild Pokemon, so you can't do the same strats as you would
right
in the normal games. But I I am very excited about it. I think it'll be really fun. I am excited to see Kanto in 3D like that because we haven't. And you can play online. This is something I wanted to mention because there was a big misconception for a while about whether or not you could trade and battle online, and you can.
Okay.
So yeah, that's coming to Switch November 16th.
Wow, that's that's pretty soon. Time passes real.
It's coming up, and if you want to know more, I have a whole article on GameSpot of everything you need to know about it.
Yeah,
it's
you do.
FAQ style, so if you have any questions, your question might be answered there. And if there is anything that is not answered, please send it to me. Like, if you have a question that you want answered, just tweet it at me, and I will do my best.
Callie will answer it. She is the Pokemon master of this office. Trust me, she knows her stuff when it comes to Pokemon. Yeah.
And by stuff, I mean all of the stuffed animals on my desk.
Oh yeah. Oh, they're very cute. Oh, speaking of Pokemon, Ditto Electrode. We talked about it a couple days ago.
Yeah.
And if you don't know about Ditto Electrode, just look it up, and you're welcome. Is what I'll say.
All right. Yes, I agree.
Okay.
Okay, moving on.
So, Callie, you carried the Pokemon section because that is your thing. I guess I'll carry this one, I suppose. This is a bit of a light story, I suppose, but there's a madman that beat Fallout New Vegas on max difficulty without dying or killing anyone. Thank you, PC Gamer, for reporting on this. This is their story, but we're going to talk about it because I love me Fallout New Vegas. I would say it's one of the top 10 games of all time. I'll stand by that, but that's not the story of the day. The story of the day is that YouTuber Retom?
Sure.
Retom? Retom?
RHETAM.
Yeah, if you want to look it up, that is how you spell his name. Or whoever.
Well,
I don't know.
PC Gamer called him a madman, so I think we're probably in the clear to say he.
Okay, so he is a madman that beat Fallout New Vegas on highest difficulty with permadeath and hardcore mode enabled. Sorry. You completed the main quest line following the NCR path, not Caesar's Legion, because they're fuck the Caesar's Legion. They're terrible. I'll say that straight up. I don't care what y'all think. And every side quest in the game. Wow, that is intense.
So he 100%ed all the quests basically.
Yeah, taking the NCR path, which you should. And at the end, he was level 26, and his sneak ability and his speech ability and unarmed skills were maxed out at level 100. So he did a lot of min-maxing because also his charisma stat was at 1, but speech was at 100. So you can pass pretty much any of the speech checks throughout the game, which is extremely useful for avoiding conflict when you need to. And he never had any companions, and instead, this is very cool, instead of opting to lure enemies together who would fight and kill each other naturally. So you can bait NPCs in this game. So you can drag like Caesar's Legion people and lead them into another town, and then they would fight it out, and you wouldn't have to worry about anything, and you could use your sneak skills. Oh boy! So the only weapon he used were boxing gloves, which can knock out enemies, but you got to be careful with that. As you can see here, he's got boxing gloves. You got to be careful though, because you can kill them if you're not careful.
I really quickly, I want to interject that we are watching his final episode.
Oh right.
This is his actual video. This isn't just generic Fallout New Vegas. Okay, continue.
Yes. So you're actually watching. Spoilers. This is his last video for his playthrough. He has 19 videos, the series. But yeah, boxing gloves. And his starting skills, so if you want to try this yourself, his starting skills were 10 strength, 1 perception, 10 endurance, 1 charisma, 10 intelligence, 7 agility, and 1 luck. So that's some min-maxing for your ass. Yeah, strength is important because of the boxing gloves. High endurance made it easier to stay alive. Max intelligence netted him some extra skill points. And he pointed out that in his videos, high speech skill is more important than the low charisma.
So that offsets the low charisma, yeah.
So you can pass your speech checks. And his playthrough is from back in March 2017. You can watch much of his journey, his YouTube channel. It's a series of 19 videos, like I said. Or he started in March. He
started this playthrough in March 2017.
And he completed it.
And he just completed it.
Hey, man. It's a lot of work.
Over 19 videos. That's dedication.
So props to Retom on YouTube for doing this. I love me some Fallout New Vegas, man. As I said, and I'll keep saying that. So props.
I really need to play Fallout. I'm a really big Bethesda fan, and the only series I have not touched is Fallout.
Really?
Not touched
snap.
Fallout. Yeah.
Ooh, New Vegas.
I own New Vegas. I own it. So I supported them, but I haven't played it. I don't know what happened. It's weird because I played a ton of Skyrim. Like I really like Elder Scrolls, and I've never been too much of a high fantasy person. Like this is
Oh, really?
like the world of Fallout is way more my shit.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's weird.
It's just a timing
Crazy thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I would highly suggest if you have time and if you feel like it, Fallout New Vegas should definitely be played by everyone out there. I love this game a lot. So props to this YouTuber who didn't kill anyone, did all his side quests, and sided with the NCR. It's very important. So, yeah.
Very proud of him.
There's that.
All right. Well, that's all we have today. Anything you wanted to shout out?
Do I want to shout anything out?
We are streaming, not us, but GameSpot is streaming Fortnite at
Yeah.
11:30 a.m. PT. And that is in 15 minutes if you were watching live. If not, that stream will be on YouTube.
Oh, I know what I want to shout out. Peter Brown's review of
Yes.
Octopath Traveler is live on the site. So you can check that out. It's a pretty damn good RPG for the Switch. Really-
I cannot wait to start playing Octopath Traveler. I'm really excited.
that's sad.
I like the demo a lot. I know that so Peter, we'll read his review, but he did talk about how the story was kind of like the writing of the actual storylines was like kind of meh, and that's the impression I got from the demo. Because I don't know, not all the characters are super compelling. And
Right.
It's kind of like you're just a warrior. I don't know,
Yeah, they have some very weird old English style speaking.
switch that shit to Japanese.
Yeah.
Do it right away. Not even from a weeaboo point of view, just straight up from a voice acting consistency point of view.
Yeah.
If you don't know any Japanese, you won't be able to tell if the Japanese acting is good or not, and it makes it a lot better.
But that combat system is something else.
Ooh, it's so good, and
Yeah.
the actual job system and
Yes.
and customizing your party, and so I'm
There's
very
a lot
excited
of
to play.
there's a lot of depth in that combat, and the combat system itself is a lot of fun to engage with. And that game is pretty hard. Those boss battles are them fools is tough.
And that comes out tomorrow.
Yes,
Right?
that'll be available publicly
Alongside Captain Toad Treasure Tracker,
Yeah.
which I will also be playing.
tomorrow. Captain Toad.
I love him.
I also want to shout out Peter's work, Photoshop. He was going to put an. Oh, I should that
No,
should be under
don't
embargo.
spoil it.
Yeah, that's going to be under embargo until it's actually released. So that's all up to Peter Brown.
He worked on a very good Photoshop, and we had a good time yesterday.
Yeah. So I want to thank him
Yep.
for all that he does.
Thank you, Peter, for being you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all the time we have.
Yes.
Thank you all for joining us. Thank you to Tony Wilson and Matt Padgett for writing our notes today,
Mm-hmm.
and to Tamar Hussein and Chris Pereira for checking those notes
Of course.
for accuracy purposes.
All right. So stick around for some sweet Fortnite gameplay here on GameSpot, because that's what we're going to be doing after the show. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.